Hi there. Thank you so much for listening to Grounded in Maine today. Here's a little change up. My name is Amy Bolduc. That changed just today. Lots of big stuff. This is a special episode. I don't know, special. I don't know. But I've got my friend Jen Ross on. Jen's podcast is called The Agritourist, and I've been listening to Jen's podcast for quite a while. Jen just completed her first year as a podcast.
Yay.
And Jen has inspired me in so many ways. And I'm updating you guys on some stuff. And I just want to share some ideas. So, Jen, thanks so much for not making me do this by myself.
You're very welcome, Amy. It's a pleasure being here with you, and congratulations on your new name.
Thank you. But so, do you want to tell folks about your podcast since you're here?
Sure, thank you. I guess over a year ago now, it's funny saying that, over 52 episodes ago, I was going through, I used to have a farm. I had a farm, my own farm for about 3 years, but I kind of volunteered at a nonprofit farm for 10 years. And they donated most of their food to food pantries. And then the farm piece that I leased was mostly vegetable and sunflowers. And we did a CSA, and we also had a mobile farm stand truck, and we did a lot of education, especially for kids. So good diversity of income streams, a lot of fun. And obviously the bigger mission was donating food to food pantries, which was very, very meaningful. So I ended up having to leave that farm for various reasons. And I've been out of farming. I have my garden and stuff like that. And I visit people's farms and I do farming things still, but I've been out of the industry for a little bit. And my youngest daughter is graduating high school. She's my last one in, grade school, and she's going to college. So I knew, this was coming, and I said to myself, okay, what do I want to do? I do have a marketing business, but it doesn't completely fulfill me. I really miss agriculture. So I figured, let me do some research on what the industry looks like, because it's been a few years since I've been in it. Obviously, the economy has changed, the farming economy has changed. So I figured, let me, reach out and interview some people. But I decided, why not do it through a podcast? I had never done podcasting before. I am a marketer, but just never really delved into that arena. And I figured, well, I have to interview these people anyway, and I want to. So why not learn about podcasting and put it out there for other people who might be interested in learning something about farming and agriculture and the economy and just all different things around farming. So, yes. And that inspires me. So what I did was it's called the Agritourist, and it's my journey back to agriculture. And why agritourism? Agritourism, I don't look at agritourism as just entertainment for people. I think anytime you get someone onto a farm, whether it's you pick or whether it's to come for a concert, whatever it is, it's an opportunity to educate people. And if you get them there for a reason that might not be completely agricultural related, it's a concert, they're still in the setting. And being in the setting resonates in some way to people, and it could lead to other opportunities and an opportunity for you to talk to them about what you do. So I looked at agritourism as this amazing opportunity, and as a marketer, I thought it was a great way for farms to create income streams and to educate people. So I really wanted to explore that. I go beyond just agritourism. I've really, pushed the limits on who we interview and the different people. But I have met such amazing, wonderful, inspiring people over the last year, and they have taught me so much. And I'm on my journey back to agriculture now.
That's
It's
awesome.
exciting.
Yes, it is. And I love so much that you as a market, you're looking at farming from a marketing perspective, which is super cool because that's not a lot of people don't have that or, have that angle to go from, I guess.
Right.
And like me. But so I want to sort of gosh, I've learned a lot from your podcast too. I just love the variety of people that you've talked to, and also just you sneak in little bits of your story all the time. And so I that's something that I enjoy so much about podcasting. When I'm listening to my friends' podcasts, I'm like, oh, I didn't know that about them. And so it just like deepens your relationship to someone by learning more about them, even if it's just little bits. Um, but and so one of the things that I really loved about, one of the many guests that I've really loved is when you had the Land for Good people on. Was it Land for Good that you had talking about funding? Maybe it was not Land for Good.
I'm trying to think of
I
who.
remember you mentioned Land for Good. You put Land for Good in the show notes, I think.
Yeah, now I'm drawing a blank on the who was it, were they in the Berkshires?
Yes.
There's Berkshire Ag Ventures.
Okay, maybe it was them.
But I'm trying to think that was a term, but I don't remember whose term that was. I'm like drawing a blank.
Okay. Well, I mean,
Um,
you did a whole episode on like funding and grants and stuff like that, and that was, I ate that right up, of course. I don't remember all the details, but that's what show notes are for.
yeah, no, there's been a lot of people. What's great is when you are interviewing all these people, many of them have had to they've obviously funded their farms in different ways. And so, and obviously depending on where you live, the county you live in, the state you live in, and then there's the US, so there's so many different levels of opportunities that people have introduced to me that I was like, wow, I didn't realize they give grants or, so it's come up. I try to get that information from everybody, from wherever they are. But Berkshire Ag Ventures, if they are who you're speaking about, they they're a very innovative organization as far as how they give money, and they've really done a lot of research working with farms to figure out what farms need and how can we build a funding option for them. One of their things is they do this bridge loan. So many grants these days are reimbursable grants. So you get the grant, but you have to spend the money out of your pocket, whether it's on a credit card or cash, or taking a loan sometimes. And then you submit the expenses and they reimburse you the money. Well, what Berkshire Ag Ventures does is they actually will fund the grant for you. They'll fund the amount. So you can go spend 25,000 if that's your grant amount on your equipment or building something. They'll give you that money, and then when you get it back, you pay Berkshire Ag Ventures. So you never lay out any money. And what a creative way that is,
Right.
such a meaningful thing for farms and agricultural businesses. So I love hearing the innovation that's going on from a financial perspective in the industry.
Yeah. But so since listening to Jen's podcast, I also this might be new information for you guys, but I have a newsletter
I
that I
love
put
your
out every
newsletter.
week. And I've been hinting around at little things. So I actually read a Substack by Alexandra Facillo, I think is her last name. But I've been following her on Instagram, and she's got a Substack also. And so she wrote this article that she wrote after reading the Farmer's Almanac, the Old Farmer's Almanac, also a great podcast episode. But so she was reading the Farmer's Almanac, and they were talking about I think it was trillions of dollars that are being okay, I'm not going to talk about money because it's too sad. But also the farmland is just being purchased and developed at an alarming rate. That's the kicker of the story is that. And just knowing that there are so many people in conversations in where I'm living now, like I'm just seeing that people don't know where their food comes from. They don't appreciate that it is grown in the ground or hydroponically or however it's grown. But like um so we're losing farmland. Also, the generation of farmers is a lot of the farmers are retiring, and their kids don't want to do it because it's a lot of work and there's not a lot of money in it. But at the same time, someone needs to grow food. And I love farm food. And I'm such a big fan of farmers. So I just really I want to be a farmer. I don't know if anyone saw that coming. But I have talked on the podcast often about the fact that I've been sort of like growing my tribe and like and gathering all the people that I need for advice and stuff like that. And it was sort of like tongue in cheek, sort of not really serious, but also sort of serious. So I am putting it out there that I am going to purchase or lease a farm, and I'm going to grow some food and I'm going to feed a community, and I'm going to practice so many agritourism practices to get people there to see where the food is grown, to see what it's like to grow food, to see what it's like to have your hand in the dirt and to just walk the grounds and to pet the animals and eat the food. And like, I just want people to understand that. I want them to see it. I want them to feel what it's like to be in that environment. And so Jen has inspired me in a million different ways with her, all of her guests and the way that she talks to me every week. But so I am putting it out there. I need people to live with me because I'm on my own. I can't afford a farm on my own, so I need people to join finances, and also I need people to help me to work on the farm because I still have to work because I can't pay for it out of my pocket. Um, but so I am looking for help. I am looking for support. If you want, if you know anybody or if you have the means to invest, I am looking for funds. I am also looking for people to just give me advice. And if anybody wants to, if anyone has the same dream of living on a farm and growing food and feeding people, I want you to be part of my farm. I already have a name for it. It is it is Long Table Farm, and that is also it is honoring my also past podcast guest, Amy Dolan of the Feeding People podcast, and her business is called oh my gosh, the Longer Table. Wider Tables, that's what it is. But I just heard that Jose Andres also has a podcast called The Longest Table. But I didn't know that, but now I do. But it's a way of opening up to community and growing my table to invite others. Like I just want people to come and be part of it. I want it to be a community thing. I want to have community gardens and you pick fruit and vegetables and have people, if people can't afford to buy the vegetables, they can help out by weeding or picking or something like that. I just want people to be part of it and to appreciate the work that goes into it. So, um, I'd love your support. I'm not necessarily asking for money, but if you know anybody who's got money and wants to put their money someplace good, I'm accepting. Um, but I just wanted to let you guys know what's going on with me. That is a big thing. I have been talking with doing workshops. I did a couple workshops with Harry Duran of Podcast Junkies and a Vertical Farm podcast. And he has been pushing me a lot for using ChatGPT and also to do a newsletter and so many other things. So Harry, thank you so much. And I was working with Andy Lyons of Don't Be Caged by Your Age podcast last week, and she and I were working on ChatGPT. And we composed a business plan, which I put up on the New England Farm Finder. I also want to move to New England, you guys. I don't want to be hot. So, or if you know of a farm, how about that? If you know of a farm that I can live on. But we put together a business plan, and I added that business plan to the New England Farm Finder website to have a legit profile to reach out to farms, which I did. I reached out to three. There are three farms that sound really interesting to me. One I've been thinking about for a few months, and I still would love it. It is in Belchertown, Mass. Just so you guys know, it's in Belchertown, Mass. It's in the mountains. It's absolutely beautiful. It's 104 acres. It's a fruit farm for a jam maker. And so that's the dream. But there's another farm in Western Mass that is 40 acres, and I am actually talking to the owner on Friday,
Yay.
Oh my gosh. I'm so nervous, but I think that they're going to be really cool. And I just need to figure out, like, the biggest thing is going to be figuring out financing. So if you have any wisdom on that, I am open to all ideas. And there's another one that is in Tiverton, Rhode Island, which is oddly part of my friend Marianne of Message in the Middle with Marianne podcast. Her husband's family. It's her husband's family's farm, but they sold it to someone else. So she knows that land very well. Very weird. Um, but so that's what's going on with me. And so I wanted to have Jen on because I think that her podcast is super important, especially in my world right now. But I think it's such a cool thing to know about agritourism in general. I think, we should support all the farm activities. I think it's so cool that barn weddings are like a cool thing now, and it's got to be such a big form of income. Uh, it's a whole crap ton of work, but it's hopefully it's worth it for the farmers. But
Well,
there's so many
yeah,
ways.
that's the thing. You have to just figure out what's best for you and your skill set and on the property that you purchase and the type of city you're moving into, area you're moving into. There's so many factors, but there are many things you can do and test out.
Yeah,
So,
I'm excited about that actually.
I mean, I know one of the farms that you're speaking to is close, is in a really nice area. I've been there before.
Uh,
And it's beautiful. And there's some beautiful farms in that area and also attracts some good tourism too.
right. And if you have heard me on the podcast talk about my volunteer experience with Growing to Give. I volunteered there for 7 years, and just that it's an agritourist experience, to come there and volunteer, and they have parties and goat yoga and stuff like that. So I've had little hints of it and little bits of it, and just the farm experience is so enriching. It is so good for the soul, and it is such a peaceful place to be. So, and I also on the podcast many times have mentioned the phrase community sufficiency. So, I don't want to do this by myself. I literally can't do it by myself. So, I am looking for help. I'm looking for ideas. I'm looking for support in any way. I need to be in a place where people care. I need to be in a place where I can actually make a difference. And that's my goal. That's what I'm working on. Yay.
Congratulations.
So thank you guys so much for listening to the podcast, and thank you so much for being involved in this. I really appreciate that. And Jen, my goodness, thank you for all that you do, and thank you for being here again today. And I just I freaking love you. I love your podcast, and I think the world of you.
And I love your support. We met at the very beginning of this and talk frequently, and your guests inspire me as well. So I'm excited to be part of your adventure, and
Maybe
good
we'll be
things are happening.
neighbors.
I was going to say, I have to learn more about the farm that you're talking to because maybe there is some type of opportunity that we can collaborate on.
My goodness. So, and also, you guys, I have a newsletter. I'm putting it out. There's some stuff that I'm just keeping in there, like the Substack, the initial Substack that inspired me. It just woke up a dream for me that I've had for at least 20 years. It's just, I wanted to do it with friends, and I still want to do it with friends. I just thought that, I was married and it was just not going to happen. But now, how about that? How about that life? And so now the opportunity is back on the table, and I'm looking for friends. I'm looking for people to do this with, and yeah, that's it. But so if you are on Instagram, the link to my newsletter, I think it's called Keeping Up with Amy. I think that's what the title is. And
You think?
I'm trying not to sell people on stuff, seriously. It's
It's a
mostly just
great newsletter. I love it because it's real.
I'm taking pictures of my strawberries and my cat and it's more like Instagram, but there's a little bit more depth to it. So please sign up for that. And there's also, you can also like keep in touch with me. You don't have to, comment on my Instagram posts. You can email me directly. How about that? All right. Thank you so much for listening today. I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day. And